This is where we fight!
The battle is on. Mars versus Venus. Mars versus Venus with Nikki, Jaiga, and Rode.
And we say good morning, Ojo World. How you doing this morning? Of course, it's Mars versus Venus, where we bring couples closer together, or we drive them further apart. We welcome you, we welcome you, we welcome the beautiful ladies, the beautiful ladies. How you doing? We welcome you, the backbone of society, I always say. Can't do it without the ladies. We welcome the gladiators. And Spartans, how you feeling this morning? All those Derricks in our lives. What? I'm just saying, Good morning to the Spartans. Woohoo! Woo! Woo. All right, nice. So, morning, Ocho World. This morning, in celebration of Ari and Ingrid's love, celebrating years. How many years again? I know they're together 30-something years.
33. And 21 years of marriage.
21 years of marriage.
So, what are we doing? Tools for distance?
What?
Tools for distance.
I don't understand.
Tools needed for distance in a relationship.
Oh, okay. That could be a whole different thing. Tools for distance. All right, so yeah.
Not a javelin.
Okay. What are we, what are the tools needed
for us
to do that kind of marathon love?
Marathon love.
Yeah. You have some people that's come in and do 100 meters and they go on their way. Yeah.
That's stamina. Write that down. Marathon love.
Marathon love, right? Then they have those coming in the 200. You say, well, yes.
Marathon as in the race.
It looking, and then bam, race done. Then they come, have those that do the 400 meters.
Yeah.
And it lasting long and the thing going good and bam. Race done. But then they have the marathoners.
There's marathon and there's 5K. It have 5K too. You forget the 5K.
Well, that marathon longer than the 5K, right?
Yeah. So that's it. Have 5K.
So right,
400.
It have 10K.
Yeah, but the 5K and the 10K, but the marathon
is where all of us would like to reach. Marathon is that's it.
Not the sprint.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants a Usain in their life.
Yes.
And then it's how you want me just don't stop running because you just go mad. Just
that means the one
all
who's
over
end
Port
up.
of Spain, you're running
That means
backwards.
the one who's end up on the stadium and
all on the bus route you're running, you're just running.
Wow.
Right, so serious talk this morning. Yet we always try and give you some good information, try and learn from each other's and see each other's from each other's eyes, different eyes.
Different point of
what
views.
it takes. Now, for me personally speaking, it takes a lot of work. I keep saying it every Friday. It takes work, and both of you, not just one person trying to make this thing work and the other one very relaxed. It takes both of you to kind of be on the same wavelength, kind of moving all the time. Because it makes no sense to if one person have all these plans and let's do this, and the other person just, and sometimes you outgrow people. And I think that's what happened in a lot of relationships, a lot. That people outgrow each other. Vice versa, women could do it and men could do it, where the partner you have just not cutting it. Not you have certain goals, you have certain dreams, and that person just cool being the same person they were 10 years ago. And so it's so many things it takes to be a marathon lover.
So I'm saying, you have the most amount of knowledge and experience in this field. How long you and Jerry together now?
18.
No, he was there.
19, how much it is?
18 married?
18 married. This year's 19 married.
This year's 19
and
married.
And we're together 21.
See, 21, you're talking about if I was there. So I see you talk about it all the time, so I must know. Every chance 21. I get.
21.
Wow, every chance I get.
Every chance I get. They say people who do that is because they're really using it to compensate for something. Wow. But I wouldn't talk about that.
The man who does have no place to sleep.
Yeah.
What? Oh my gosh.
I never know.
You doing that today?
I know.
You doing that today?
You know I have always.
Are we doing that today?
Oh, he just be coming from all directions.
I a dog then.
Yeah, if he have any place to sleep.
I a dog then.
But talking down to me, mansplaining to me.
How am I mansplaining?
Yeah,
I was going to
ask
a question though.
Yeah.
Right, before let's start to go after
she just
each
gave me
other.
real vexing. How am I mansplaining?
So 21 years, right?
Wow.
And during this marathon, well, you're still on the wee road. Are there any point in time when
Wee Avenue?
You are?
She's on Wee Avenue.
Wee Avenue. Yeah. Are there any point in times where you stop for water or
What?
you know, you let your partner run ahead,
What?
or you know, you take
He's
a little-
asking legitimate
you
questions,
go
Nicole.
off, you go off course and you take a route and you say, hey,
Hey.
and you meet back up again.
Yeah.
Well,
and you continue going.
I'm sure that there are people in the marathon race that has happened where, oh God, I can't take it. Now you run ahead. I stop in for a little water.
Yeah.
Coconut water thing.
Yeah, I'm sure that.
A snow cone
Oh, you want with condensed milk?
with condensed milk.
The condensed milk snow cone still
I know a couple people
Oh
who
my gosh.
their significant other stop for like 2 snow cones with milk.
That milk sweet. That milk sweet.
Give me some extra.
Give me some extra milk, please.
So I'm sure there are people, it's never, you know, and some marathons, you're on a nice paved
Right.
track, and then there are
Some
some
of them running
bumpy
through the forest,
tracks. They have some bumpy tracks, some pothole in the tracks. But again, it depends. It kind of how do we get there?
So have you been holding hands during this marathon?
Uh,
In terms of your
you know, holding hand have a
marriage?
different
You
connotation now
holding
since
hands
Derek.
running? You holding hands running? You've been running side by side for the past
Yeah,
21 years?
I would say no. There are times where I lag behind and Jerry, they're pulling
Right.
me, holding my hand, say, come, let's go, let's go, let's do this, right?
I like that.
And then there are times when he also too, I had to pull him and say, come babes, let's finish in line, let's do this. So I keep saying it takes
Good.
if the two people not in it, that's it.
So but the discussion today though is to help those who maybe stop by the snow cone vendor. So we're here to talk about that.
Too much.
If you stop by the snow cone vendor, we
Yeah.
are here to try and see if we could find a way for you to not ask for milk and take less syrup.
Why, boy?
Take less syrup.
You gonna talk some milk?
while
Oh, no, but
stopping.
that's the reality of it. Many marathon runners will stop and eat two snow cone.
And we're talking the
And how do you
tools
get them back on track
and also
to
the
finish
tools
your race?
and the tools that you need to complete this marathon or to even start. Because like anything else in life, you know, and in a marathon, if you're using that as the analogy, you have to train.
Yeah.
And the training process
Oh,
will
wow. You were training when you stopped by to pick up two snow
be
cones?
no,
okay,
you
just
stay on
check it.
God, stay on track now.
I'm trying,
Gosh.
I'm
What we're
trying.
saying is that to enter a marathon, you have to first train. The training process is you growing up, meeting different people, learning about yourself, learning about your partner before you enter the race. You dig? So that's what we're talking about. It's about learning about your partner too before you enter the race. So you have to train. You have to train self, you have to train your mind, you have to train your behavioral patterns and that kind of thing. So we're talking training. What are the tools needed in the training process? It's some of the things we need to talk about.
Now,
Do
some
you?
people enter the race and they're not ready for a race like that.
That's the next thing.
Yeah, you know, you tell yourself, yeah, I could do that, man.
But you
and
seen
jump
everybody
in.
running, you want to run in
And
news.
you jump in, but you weren't ready mentally,
you never
physically.
train.
Never train,
You
you
never
never train.
train.
You've been
train
running
for this.
50 meters all your
Right.
life.
But you want to go and run marathon. You're a sprinter. You know you've been sprinting all the time. All of a sudden you want to run long distance.
Yeah.
So
right?
that's what we're talking about. What are some of the tools? Like anything else, if you're training, you know, you have to eat right. Your body need the right nutrients. You need to train regularly. How much days a week you're training?
You need to stay focused.
So we asking today, what do you think are some of the tools to get you through that marathon? What are the things that you need to do? How you need to train yourself, your body, soul, mind, to get yourself ready for the marathon of life and relationship?
I think one of the major things is first and foremost respecting yourself, you know, loving yourself, knowing what you about, and from there, I think anything is possible.
You know, I really honestly think love conquers all, because even if you're not there yet, you fell in love with somebody, but you have issues. You have baggage. You have...
We all have a little drama too, eh?
trauma that you probably didn't deal with. But if the person loves you and there's that kind of love and respect, and your partner realize, yeah, my boo have some issues, but we in this together. Compared to we in this together, but I don't go and relieve a little pressure every now and again, or just not dealing with it at all. So it all goes back to that loving your partner and you're in it together. You have to tell yourself, because as I always say this, that have man who's go and the wedding, and women too, I'm sure, right? Saying I do and thing, but knowing they have a little woman on the side that they're not giving up. So you also have to be ready and 100% committed if you want to do this marathon. You can't be in a marathon and not be 100% committed. That's the only way you're going to reach to the numbers like Ari and Ingrid.
And when we say people hear this statement all the time about love self, and love self is not a selfish thing. People need to understand when you say love self and understanding self,
before you could do anything
you have
else.
to understand yourself entirely first before, because what Nikki said is so correct. You're going into something.
Well, not entirely, because I don't think none of us know ourselves
Correct.
entirely.
I know.
You're always
but you still
growing
get
and
into
learning.
You're growing,
yourself
but
every single
at
day.
least enough to understand
That you want to commit.
that you want to commit, and the person that you're with, and you hear these things back in the day when they say you attract what you are, and you sometimes wonder how. But it's true. If you just start to outpour goodness will come back. That's just how it is. So you will attract the type of person that you need to be with.
Yes.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Nikki would have gone through what she went through, and that is how Jerry came along, and Ari and Ingrid did the same
Exactly.
thing. And because not everybody, some people are fortunate that the first person they ever meet is the person they live their entire
Their
life
life
with.
with.
In this world that we living in, I definitely am not that. Rudy's not that. We are not that. So you then, in a search to get there, you might, as we say, stop and get snow cone along the way, but who knows? You might end up buying snow cone, and the snow cone vendor might just be the person who you're meant to be with.
No, I think why it's the good vendor you're meant to be with.
She just sells soap.
That come out kind of wrong, but you know what I mean. You
You know,
understand?
When I met Jerry, of course, he had eaten real snow cone already. Right?
All over the world.
When I had brain freeze.
All over the world. You read
So that kind of helped too, because he was a snow cone connoisseur. So, yeah, you know what I mean?
Afghanistan.
So, by the time
Really
he reached
snow
the
cone.
Savannah snow cone, you know, he
Yeah.
cool, he
Yeah.
supposed,
Yeah.
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 And I think
Vibes.
yeah.
Where's this? Portugal, sir.
And
This
Guava?
Guava?
I never had
I
Guava.
like this one, man.
Yeah. So that I think
let's put Diana
helps too.
Jojo in this.
Yeah, you fed up on the strawberry ones and things. The strawberry
peaches.
And peaches, yeah. Nah, boy, this one of our vibes. What you call this? Guyana job? This one of our vibes. This one of our vibes.
Morning, guy. Trust is most important in that marathon. Trust that when one lags behind, the other will be there to pull them forward. And again, it goes back to that 100%. If these are things you don't have to deal with in terms of trust, and we in this together, even though the trust is broken, because Mary marathoners, trust is broken. As you say, they went for snow cone on the side, come back, and sometimes it takes that to realize that you want to do the marathon too.
For real.
You understand? You could get disqualified, you could get almost disqualified, and now you realize, oh God, no boy, this is a good race I need to be in and stay in. So this is not a perfect life. This is not the Cinderella dream they've taught us. Taught us. Right? The Cinderella syndrome. The first fella you'll meet, he will come in on the white horse, and you all will live happily ever after. Have 2.5 children, the picket fence, the dog. In reality, few go through that now.
Yeah, but we have to normalize the fact too that you see that picture that was painted that you're talking about. You
That's
don't
been painted
always
since time immemorial.
Right, but we need to normalize the fact that you don't have to have all of that to run a marathon. There's some people who live happily
Exactly.
without the picket fence,
of
They
course.
want to open yard.
They figure it out
Oh,
along
you
the
want
way.
a
No,
open
I mean
yard.
like that. Yes,
You
know,
want
God,
open
Oh,
yard. Just no fence, right? Johnny Q and them can't come down and put down fence because your
Cherise.
yard
And
open.
Nikki, stay on track now.
Oh, Cherise, just
I
come
on
now.
track.
Stay on track now.
Now walk 3 long, come.
Stay on track. I
Come
never
on.
meant open in the sense as open in your relationship.
But that is a good analogy too.
Yeah, but
they
I'm
have
not
people
speak-
yard open.
Yeah, but I didn't mean like that. Let's keep
Kicking
it.
you up,
Let's stay on track, guys. Stay on track.
Have a
We're
dog.
not going there today.
There
We're
are
not.
no fence.
Yeah. We're not going there today. When
And
I
no
said
fence.
open fence, open yard, meaning
Uh-huh.
the 2 children, the
Right.
puppy, the dog. There's some people who are very content in 2 of them enjoying their lives together. They're adventurous people out there, you know, who
And they allow each other to express themselves and experience
you
different
understand?
things.
So if it has some people
Yeah.
who believe in, okay, instead of us starting family, let's live our life to travel the world, do different things.
Yeah.
And you could live happy like that as well.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that
Definitely.
let's not feel...
And we've been saying that about the millenniums. That's how they deal with
Right,
life
so let's
too.
not put it into a box and believe that the only way you can see you could have this marathon
No.
is that you had that two children.
But that is what we were taught too. We were taught too in that the whole Cinderella syndrome.
Right, that's why we had to retrain. We had to retrain as a new set of thinking.
And not only that, there are people, as you said, don't want children and they're very happy and contented with that.
Yeah.
We will take that money we're supposed to buy Pampers with and invest in a child for 18 years versus traveling the world.
Correct.
I want to say, Charles, to my in-laws, right? They are a great example of that as well. Carlene's grandfather and grandmother together for about 60 plus years now, right? When I tell you they're in love. Fortunately, God called her home 2 days ago, and you're just seeing that her spirit is so powerful that she's still there in her boy. It's still a joy, it's still a happiness within the family, and it's just a really great example of where you're supposed to take your love, and especially when you want to spend your rest of your life with somebody. So I want to say shouts going out to them, condolences again. Every night is the week right now, but it's so different than normal week, boy.
The way there's sorrow.
So different.
My uncle died last week, and his widow stood there, and you could tell the grief. She said they were together for 46 years.
Yeah.
And
That's a long time.
And she said, my heart is broken. My best friend has left me and gone. And there's that too. When you start to go down that marathon road, you just kind of tell yourself, one had to bury the other one. Is that kind of love?
I was getting to that.
Correct.
Somebody tools needed as
Your
well.
mom just had to bury your dad.
Right. Somebody tools needed is like, well, with my dad in particular, he always said that a duty of a man. Remember, everybody have their own little thing. The duty of a man is to get his children to the point of being comfortable
with his passing.
And that is one of your duties, right? So when a relationship is really flawless and it's, I wouldn't say perfect, but it's in the right direction and it's aligned, the universe has it aligned properly, the passing of one is really a beautiful thing. You get to the point where you have to accept that one of you are going to go first. And prepare yourself for that.
And if you believe in the spiritual, like so many people do, that you would know that person on the other side waiting for you.
Kind of waiting.
That's that kind of comfort.
And the spirit's still there.
Yeah, and they're there with you. And they're there with you. And
we know. I
firmly believe that.
And we're talking about we making joke about the whole snow cone, but the snow cone too could also be that, because you could be on that road and an accident happened and you lost somebody who stopped to buy snow cone and they pass away unexpectedly. Now, how do you cope with the grief moving forward?
She's dead.
Look, let me get some voice notes.
Cool it down, boy.
Out of my little experience, I think that nobody should be in a committed relationship before the age of 30. Nobody should actually think about being in a serious long-range marathon before the age of 30, because most people, they don't even know what they want out of life, right? You had to know what you want out of life and what you're willing to give up, because a relationship is all about compromise.
And that's such a true thing. I always tell, when I talk to women and they ask me about marriage and Nikki, how is marriage, boy? I mean, I'm such an independent woman and I just can't understand, a man telling me, you do have to give a part of yourself. That whole part of you is no longer just you again.
Part of your bed.
Right?
Part
All
of
the
the
talk I
fridge,
is talk. If I get a call now from
part of your
Ellie,
bank account.
for Ellie, and they say, Nikki, we need you in LA now. All the woman I said, yes, I had to go and talk this for Jerry. How does this affect? Can I just pick up and go on a plane? And
it's respect.
It's that
respect.
And so you can't go into a marriage thinking I am my own woman and
even though it's a
no
level of
man can
respect
tell
too.
me what to do. And
It's respect, yes, but also when the love is real, you too within yourself, there's a thing in your body that triggers thinking about making that decision to go. You're gonna miss the person. You're genuinely gonna miss that closeness and that
course.
comfort that you share
Jerry
with
and
that
I always
person.
together.
So for them to leave for an extended period of time, although when it comes to the sit down and talking part is when you bring logistics into it. When you start to talk adulting, here what's going on? How much they paying you? Nah, boy, we need 150,000. No, girl. How long it is for? 4 months?
Yeah, but
You
that's
go
the
back
kind
to
of
it.
conversation
That's the
you have to have in
That's when the
marathons.
adulting start on that side.
Right.
But the initial thing, normally, what should be the initial trigger is, God, boy, to take this work, I will miss my person. I'll miss my favorite person.
Yeah.
That's the first feeling you should feel. When
Yeah.
you get that feeling, is when I believe you're on the right partner.
Job nothing.
I'm going on 23 years with my children's father. We met at 17, high school sweethearts. We have 5 children together. We never got married. Don't fix what's not broken. I say 3 years into a relationship, he did stop and get 2 snow cone, which one made a mini snow cone.
You lie.
She put 2 bunny
Yeah,
heads.
yeah, yeah, you got the money, It was hard, but we worked through it. 23 years strong. And
And
that's
this
it.
is-
You will have snow cone
This
eaters.
is the other thing too, because I mean the new generation now they love or want this perfect union or this perfect world where everything is just
Peaches.
No, and that's
better
what they
roses.
sold
And
us.
my thing is that
That's what they sold
a lot
us.
Of, a lot of the older generations they doesn't want to share the struggle, no boy, because within all that love there's a lot of struggle and a lot of hurdles that you will have to go over and
You don't
and
think our grandparents, who and those are the ones that we're talking about, who lasted 60, 70
Really?
years.
Well, you just
You
go
don't
through
think
plenty,
them
boy.
a real pothole? You don't think
There's go through plenty.
Pops really snow cone on the way to that 70 years marriage? You know what I mean?
As the guy said in his experience, I kind of agree with some of the things he said, but there are people who are fortunate to find love before 30 and last, right? My only thing with that is the new age world, well, my particular generation, the problems and the issues I think we face is a lot of us go into relationships and it turns into a competition and not a partnership. And that is one of the problems. I think you need to one of the tools needed
It's a partnership,
is
full
to understand
partnership.
that it's not tennis, it's actually like basketball or it's a team sport.
team sport,
a lot
yeah.
of people get into relationships now and they treat it like a sprinter. Like you saying, it's you alone.
Yeah.
You go on in the blocks
Blah, blah,
and
blah,
on your
blah.
marks,
Bam.
get set,
Yeah.
and you want to win.
What, you come fifth
Once
now? I
you-
go
My
on.
thing is my thing, your thing
once
is your
you-
thing.
Once you
How?
have that kind of
How that
mentality, no, but listen, I
Well,
fall
that's something
guilty.
I
fall
fight.
victim to
Yeah,
it.
Jaiga and I
being honest,
battle that all the
fall-
time.
I fall victim to it as well.
I say you cannot go into a marriage and talking about this
I
and
fall
that
victim
and
to it
this
as
is
well.
mine.
And
Mentally you're not there.
The reason being, again, you have to relearn some things.
Yeah.
You have to remember, like I always say, if my song hash, let me cut the music to tell you. Our grandparents were racist, and they taught us the wrong things. Fact.
I don't think that they just didn't know better.
Bro,
Yeah, they
listen,
didn't know
the
better.
little things that they
It
will
all
plant,
come
the
down
seeds
from
that was planted, the
slavery.
seeds that was
Exactly.
planted, these little nonsense that they used to tell you about, don't bring no lace for school child hair, and do
Yeah.
this and do that. All
That
them
was
little seeds,
all
all them little seeds
colonialism.
planted, brother, is what affect my particular generation. Because understand this, growing up telling yourself that you have to have certain things at a certain age. Bro, when I was 24, hustling like dog, when everybody was living their life in their 20s and doing what they think and doing whatever, I thinking, but I need to close on this. I have to get a mortgage because why? I was told that if I do that, I'm nothing because this one didn't have that. And then your mother ringing in your ears, your father never do this and you never do that, and you have to do this and you have to do that. And da. When you see your peers living their life in their 20s, which is how it should be at 24. You really supposed to be experiencing certain things.
And I talk that in relationships all the time.
Plenty snow
I
cone.
always, and I agree with that caller, plenty, eat your snow cone.
Eat your snow
all your
cone.
20s and so you're supposed to be enjoying your life.
Oh,
And then by your 30s, you kind of start to find yourself and you could take relationships a little more serious. But when you get sometimes too involved, too young, and you hook onto this person too long, and all you're just going through the motions and you spend your life not really being your true self.
Well, sometimes it works, huh?
Sometimes,
In
of
certain
course it does.
instances, it
The lucky
works.
ones
Okay,
look.
let me
Yeah.
get Ari and Ingrid, right? They sent us, to summarize, this from Ari. Number 1, prayers. You give thanks and pray for our relationship. You have to have some kind of spirituality in your
Together.
relationship together, right? Be able to forgive and forget.
Not just forgive.
Be able to forgive and forget. Keep ourselves attractive to each other. We both exercise and we both fit. Jam often.
Jam often.
Yeah.
I really like that
Yeah.
one.
Number
Jam
5,
often.
speak out when something is bothering you and be mature to accept it. Number 6, respect each other. Number 7, keep investing in us. Number 8, trust. Number 9, more jam. I love her so much, it's crazy. You see the work you have to put in, guys. You can't just sit down
Hey,
and
want
say
to thank
this
Ari for
me.
taking the time though.
Yeah,
to
Ari,
listen, because
love,
anyway,
all the time,
He know home scratching, eh?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
listen,
Working.
they're together 32 years now, and
31.
31 years.
33 together,
33.
21 married, yeah.
all right, 33 years together,
21 married.
21 married, right? But when Ari and Ingrid come here, I bounce them up in fat and thing.
Yeah.
Ari and Ingrid, just
Getting
be
like they
up
know
in
meet, eh?
front,
Yeah, and getting like the no meet
hugging
last
up, whining on each other, like them now meet each other in the fete.
week. You know why?
Yeah, you're not leaving her by in the front by herself and say, come
Nah,
back, I'm going
and
for a
you
drink, and you
disappear.
roam in the
but
party.
Tasha, when I white short pants, I had to go and see her.
Yeah.
But no, hold on. Before we get to
And it's a
Tasha,
smoke in the fete.
and rest no in the fed, Nikki. But outside of that,
And they want to be dangerous, there's alcohol in it.
yeah, one of the reasons too is you compatibility.
Yeah.
He didn't put that there. We overlook that. If you and you know those red flags just pop up, if you meet someone who is not aligned to you, your interests, the things you like,
Well,
and
I
you're
don't
not
think you would have
aligned to
reached the
theirs,
level of marathon. You have to get through certain things before
No,
you
Nikki,
could think
don't say that.
marathon. But
Those-
if we have nothing in common, that's going to
No,
fizzle
no,
out
not-
before.
No, you see
We
that
reach a
nothing,
400.
nothing in common. I'm not talking about there's plain nothing in common. There are people who are in your life and will ignore ignore a trait of yours because they think big picture.
Right.
They're trying to tell themselves, I will ignore this because this is where I'm trying to get to. And that is why I talk about the competition thing. And then you start to make comparisons to others. Comparison is the
It's the
worst
worst.
Well,
thing.
worst thing in
social
the
media have a
world.
lot to do with that.
Worst thing.
Social media is to
So
blame for all of that.
Beverly and Marlon living their good life, but Tasha and Kevin doing what they're doing. So Beverly they started watch like it's like you want to outshine. Look at what Marlon do
Social
for her. Look
media,
at what Marlon
social
do for her. Da, 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 da. So you want to shine. So then it puts a strain on the individual. So he now starts to move in a discomfort because you're doing things that you know you cannot really do.
I think that's
Just
a really
to
a young
please the
generation
situation.
thing. You know,
But we had to speak on it because it
yeah.
happens,
Yeah, it
Nicole.
happened
It
because
happens.
I think older couples, they're not on this kind of new wave love, the instant kind of things. I want
But
this
here the
now.
problem,
And
right, but here the
this
problem
and
with
fixing
that.
in a month, I gone.
Here the problem with that. The older people might not be on it. But if you watch a trend, a lot of older people are now liming with a lot of young people. So it's like a kind of keeping up with the Joneses
Yeah.
kind of sickness.
Yeah.
The real pandemic is keeping up with the Joneses, you know.
Ooh,
Not
that's tiring,
COVID.
you know.
I think another point too that we overlooking is privacy
There's none.
in your relationship.
Yeah,
And
that next problem.
not wanting or having or feeling the need to share every single detail about your relationship with everybody else. You understand?
Exactly.
Sometimes you just need to
Again, go back to social
take it to the
media.
Lord, go and pray about it. But it have people who the littlest things happen in a relationship, they have to run and share it, you know.
Yeah.
Whether it be on social media or to a close friend.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just good to keep certain things private.
Private. A relationship is like a castle. The meeting up is that starting at the foundation, moving forward is building the home. Commitments to marriage is like decorating the home, and marriage is continue building the future life ahead. Sunny Wayne. Like a
Sunny.
kiss.
Sonny Wayne in it a long time too.
Yeah,
long
yeah.
time. He's a marathon runner too.
My parents are married 40 years. My father told me, I choose your mother every day and get to know the new her every time she grows. And that's real good understanding there, because you're going to continue going
every day you learn something
both
new
of you
about the
all,
person.
both of you all,
You gotta be
I
committed
going
to
through
that.
my thing, you going through your thing, and we had to keep getting to know this new person that we evolve into every single day.
Yeah, I don't know when to stay away from them too.
Give them the
You just
think therapy. We always say that every couple, every
Yeah,
person could do it a
kalupasa,
little therapy. Knowing yourself sexually and emotionally is the tools I needed.
She didn't it?
So we taking some here.
Yeah, Chambakina.
Here from Lily.
Morning, guys. So, what about those people who, as we using runners, right? Let us say one person accustomed training with this style in this club, and the next person grew up training in this style with this club. So they both running, but for two totally different reasons. One person running because they want to win and reach the finish line and be able to say that they run this long race, and the next
Right.
person running because, well, your mother and father sent you to run and you had to run and you might as well just finish the race. But really and truly, where your heart is
Yep.
long jump or discus, or what's the next one with the big pole thing, right? So you was never meant to be in that race, but
Yeah.
you're done there already.
Yep.
And the race, you have a whole, must be 100 kilometers to go again, and you say, well, I done here already.
Ready.
But for the duration of the race, you're unhappy, because I know people like that. What about that? Do you stay in the race, or do you switch to what makes your heart smile.
Well, they obviously.
You gotta stay true to yourself.
But there are many people who stay in those long-term marathons. They're not happy. They wish they could drop out the race, but they know if they drop out, all the sponsorship go drop, all them kind of things. So they're in the race, but they make that mental decision.
Shouting, run!
Yes, run! Yes, exactly. But you have made that conscious decision.
What she spoke on is what I said just now, the compatibility. A lot of the times, you know you're not compatible with the person, but you ignore certain things. Like what she said, because your parents and them tell you,
It have certain people you know not supposed to marry.
Not supposed to.
Right, I remember going to a wedding and when people were saying do you promise to that partner the vows? And
Keeping each other nervous?
He partners in the back going
You lie.
yeah,
Promise nothing.
because you know to yourself that certain people, it have certain one or two friends at Jerry I will never introduce to my girlfriends
Why?
because I know them is not boyfriend and marathon runners. And I know my girls looking for marathon runners. So I not even going, I say, and you know it, I used to laugh all the time. I say, boy, I ain't none of my girlfriend to you.
Yeah, it's also
He hot ras, but I know my girls, I ain't putting you through that. That man is not, and he know it too because he never married. He is close to Jerry, a little younger, but
Sometimes
and that's
you
when
ask
it's true to yourself.
If the people who operate in that self
Not supposed to be in marathon.
You ask yourself sometimes people who operate like that if they was here before.
Oh, if they know. That
Yeah, they will
marathon
say,
race thing is mash up
So,
thing.
so on the second time round, they're like, see me?
Yeah, I stay with the 100 meter,
That's what I
yes.
said before. Let me just
Sometimes you're running a marathon and then your partner get big and so on and you gotta get him a jockey back. You struggle till she finish line.
They both hold you. She on your
Come on,
back.
babe, come on,
Come on,
babe.
you can do
You
it.
can do it.
Come on.
The further we go, the more heavy. The heavier you get, eh?
They have
And
the vibe.
you won't come down
Yeah,
and
the
try to
heavy-
find yourself, man.
Yeah. Some people.
Hi, morning guys. Something that I learned late as well is that shared trauma is not compatibility. And a lot of the times we get our head deep with that because me and the last person I was with, we both had daddy issues and that was like a glue that bonded us together. But when I moved past that, I come to realize apart from that, we don't really have anything else in common.
Yeah.
But that shared trauma kept us together for like 6 years.
see compatibility again. That's what I'm saying. You ignore certain things. It's
You
a
have to
human
know,
trait.
yeah.
You ignore certain things because you feel it's not as important as opposed to the being together part. Some people just want to have the imagery of a relationship,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
because
Course,
I don't want to
Cinderella
women
syndrome.
women please do, you know, all you go in the comments and hate and blah, 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 blah. Calm down. Listen to what I'm saying before you jump out yourself. It happens to men as well, but mostly with women. Women who start to hit a certain age and seeing all their friends being married, friends having children,
peer
or
pressure.
whatever. I wouldn't say it's peer pressure really, no, it's emotionally they start to question
But
themselves
this is-
Because
and
it happening around them.
and say, well, what's going on with
With
me?
me, boy.
So then, bam, they meet someone who really and truly all the boxes not checking, you know. But you start to do
Yeah.
comparisons now. Listen, 10
The timing is right.
The checklist.
The timing is right.
The checklist is here. The person only check 4. Solid 4. The next 6 questionable, shaky. But as Nikki just said, is the timing.
Yeah.
Now is the time
and
you
women
should
have
be
that
with somebody.
pressure. I went through that pressure.
Telling you, it
I went
happens.
through the pressure of with my endometriosis that the doctor telling me, Nikki, you have to have a baby now, and you think, and you did this sort of pressure because it's
Have a
biological.
baby now,
tick-
doc, and it no man jamming me. How
yes.
you want me make child? Where you not
Exactly.
telling me
So,
to do
and
this? Go in the club?
biological clock ticking.
Women biological clock the stick and men financial clock the stick. Yeah.
Explain.
Yeah.
How it's sounding like all they're running
explain
away from the art form. So when it's Friday with Nikki and Ambassador too. Did you see?
It's Friday. What's going on with you?
You see, men financially, because we are the pillars, or I would say we are the pillars of providing, making sure that we have a job, making sure that we could.
That's what
we
you've been
could
taught,
actually-
right? Yeah.
Correct. That's
As the
what
old
we've
school,
been
yeah.
taught, right? So when a woman busy studying, oh gosh, you know, my time ticking. The doctor telling me this, the doctor telling me that. In the back of a man's head, he's studying, boy. He was in a relationship. He invested so much time, so much money, and then bam, everything done, and he had to start all over again. So
That's how women
I
feel
don't,
too. Many
if
women
you're
go
if
through
you're a man
that.
and you ain't studying that aspect of your life, cool. But I believe if a man really want a family, he will study what he could leave for his children, outside of knowledge and these things. He would want to provide and leave something for his kids, so he will study that financial side of things as well.
You have no choice. I mean, society has told you have to study that financial part of it, right?
You can't send them back, which is something they didn't figure out how to do yet. I've been asking for years. But it has not been invented.
You see?
The send back has not been invented. How do you get them to go back?
You see that man who is which part? What state is that in America, boy? Where he in court right now and he have to pay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
For
we
a
talked
child
about that.
they did a test and they know that is not his child, but
15
the
years,
law states
15
that
years.
he have to mind that. Always.
Jaiga, at an early age, our worth is tied to those things. A man may not have kids, but nobody meets him and asks what he's waiting on. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's the thing, is a pressure that women
Back here,
face.
he know what they're talking about. So I come in on the back end.
Oh.
But the whole, man, let me tell you something. These days, relationships is a hard thing. It's not like old time days when you're about to get married, your mother tell you, the mother might tell the woman, listen, when you're married, don't come back here. You know. Now, everything is a problem. You hear the lady call and say compatibility. You've been with somebody for 6 years, you had daddy issues. Everything is super analyzed, the new generation entitled, they just feel like they know everything.
But social media, as we said, ties into a lot of this, where they expect certain things instantaneously. Right? We're in a relationship,
Instant
and
gratification.
if it's not fixed immediately, they move on.
No, and they take also a disagreement as you instantly in a toxic relationship. Like
Yeah.
you cannot work
Yeah,
around.
work through
You cannot
stuff. How
work
do you work
around.
through stuff?
Exactly. You
Yeah,
have
when
to
you're in
learn
your
from there, you
20s,
can't figure it out.
it's level snow cone and doubles eating
Level.
right through, man.
That was your contribution. Dave.
I've seen that happen so many times.
You see, look what they're saying here. You cannot compare long time to now.
Yeah.
You start to get...
Well, long time didn't have the kind of distractions there are
Yeah,
now.
no, correct.
For you to have a man whisper in your ears, you literally had to be outside in a corner, in a dark corner, man whispering. Now you in your bedroom, your mate next to you, and a man down in your ears.
Yeah, no,
Now
this is
is
smoke
the
signal
time.
used to
Now is
send.
the time to time vault. Now is really the time to time vault, because I
Thank you.
would love to see a
No, it is a
25-year-old.
smoke signal used to send.
Yeah.
A 25-year-old Nikki right now. It's now the time to vault. You put a 25-year-old right now, vault it. Let's have the same conversation 25 years from now.
Morning, Winfield in Atlanta. I do divorces for a living. One of the biggest reasons for divorce ending that marathon is financial issues. Honing, outside children are lesser reasons, more financial.
See.
Yeah, and I think in all
Must have that
psychology
conversation
reports and
then.
so what causes marriages? Financial.
When I tell her it's
So that's a
cream
big
is a
part.
issue, it's a jammy long time.
So next week let's deal with that.
we
Money.
fed up talk about cream,
But we always
fed
have to
up.
keep talking
talk
about it
about
because
And then we had a fight with Cardi B, who's saying broke boys don't deserve no. I know that's right.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys. This is one morning I agree with Jaiga. Few Friday mornings. But there are people who, they meet their high school sweetheart, they fall in love and live happily ever after, whether it's with children, without children, picket fence, whatever. And then there are those who meet the son of Pharaoh and the ancestors before they could meet their prince. And then there are those who have all these different mindsets put in their head from their grandparents who get
Pharaoh and the
hurt
ancestors, yeah.
from Auntie Sheila, from Tanti Veronica and Granny Gertrude. So it's all about knowing your mesh and what you could deal with to go on the weed road if you intend to be in it for the longevity.
we have to be aware of our issues as partners and try and get better. We can't be in a relationship and say you have issues and don't want to work on it. It might take a little while because I said nothing happens before it's time. But you yourself have to work on whatever you is. I always say you have to be okay before everybody else could be okay. Before
That's
your
why I don't
partner,
know,
your
I saw you,
children.
I think no matter how compatible you think I think at some point in time you would need to, if you want to go that long distance, see a therapist with your partner, sit down,
See,
talk.
those things wasn't
I think
normal
that's
back then.
real
But
important.
No, you're the
because-
normalize seeing a therapist. I'm
Of
telling
course,
you.
because
You have to.
it's a simple thing like this too, Nikki. A lot of the times we say love conquer all, yes, but that is why within love there are different aspects of it as well. Respect, all these different things. But you go in and sit down and talk to a therapist and understanding that some of the things that you may consider love in a relationship, like I know there are a lot of women in abusive relationships. They probably was accustomed seeing that and experiencing that, and cussing you and telling you all kind of thing is considered love to some people.
If you do it, it's like, but you don't really love me because you don't go
exactly.
hard. You don't go hard for me.
Go hard.
No, I'm telling you, people have that
Rudy, Jaiga, raw. I'm asking the wrong man, I am more like a relay man. From the time things start getting sticky, I just pass the baton.
Wow, bro.
Hey,
Wow, bro.
And that's real.
Man, see hand in battle out there.
Hey, you hold that.
Wow.
Hold that.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
So, Rodi just said something there, and that is the point of why marriages are not lasting with the younger generation. Rodi just said about Cardi B singing about broke boys, and that's the problem. The younger generation, they live their lives and they base their relationships on what's happening in the music, what's happening on
People
the TV, social media, the Kim Kardashian life, and they feel that's all it takes. But they don't know that it takes commitment, it takes
It's work.
it takes everything, actually. It's hard work.
That's just
a homeboy, right? Let me tell you how this thing detrimental.
Therapy is the key for long-term relationships.
Therapy is the answer.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something about therapy real quick before I make my point. Therapists as well, you have to, as an individual, that's a relationship, so you have to search for one. Not every therapist could really align with you. People feel it not be a go to one and that's the one. It always works. So you have to shop around before you find somebody you could really get the best out of you now. All right. And next issue that we have that read talk going into the social media, you will open your phone and see a homeboy take his girlfriend for her 25th birthday or 30th celebration on the French Riviera. Thing is a helicopter ride. Then they will parachute down
What kind
onto.
of friend you are? I don't know. You are not kind of friend.
Then
Parachute?
they will parachute. They will parachute, and when they land,
What's this doing? Blinding down in Shangri-La.
when the parachute, Nikki, when the parachute is a picnic with servers, sushi, thing, and then take for a massage. It's a full day package. For this particular lady because and that is now a bad at this set, and that's why you say the Cardi B songs on them things. So these young people coming into this thing believing
so they equate love with money, finances,
and how the person treats you on particular days. So if you know who genuinely love somebody, who want to express that love by giving of your time and attention and saying today's your day, honey, I'm here to cater to you, whatever you want to do. If it is we're gonna take a drive for the day but I'm spending the day with you, that is considered garbage because what they see now. Yeah, that's considered garbage because of what they're seeing. Wow. So you had to make comparisons so that you had it has to be this big shabang.
Morning breakfast party and Ojo will. There's no template for relationship.
None.
And a lot of people like to use Jack and Jill's templates and say, listen, we need to follow that pattern. Every relationship have a different template.
Everyone.
Because in a relationship, the things that you might be able to take, whether it's good or bad, somebody else might be able to take it. So everybody had to have their own template for the relationship. Everybody had to find their own things to make themselves.
We always say that every relationship is totally different. There's two different people in every single relationship. They have different parameters. This works for our relationship. It mightn't work for your relationship. So in other words, stop finding people relationship and deal with yours. Chemistry is very important also. That's what keeps the fire burning.
Of course. It's always nice to
This is a topic I can weigh in. And I will tell anybody, support is a very, 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 very serious thing. And people just take it lightly. You need to be there for your partner. You need to support your partner. You need to understand your partner's goals, their aspirations, their ambitions. And you need to work with them. And a lot of people just take it for granted and they tell it, nah, he getting through. No, you need to be there and support your partners.
I just say that because a friend of mine, he trying to be vegetarian. He trying. He working on. He trying. He trying to cut back, and his wife just crying big. Stew chicken.
Watch me. And people just think support is is about you doing this, again your money. That's not the support. What this man now
Right
speak
across
about
the
is
border.
that kind of support. You know your partner want to try something. Let's say, for instance, your partner come and decide, like when Nikki wanted to do a degree. You know how Jerry supported that? The nights when he knows she had to stay up and study, he might make her coffee. He go take off her light. He will do this thing. He'll make sure take care of the dog and them. They go be back into the disturb. That is the support men people be talking about. People feel support. It's money thing. Support is you know your partner on a quest. Listen, and next way he supports as well. You know Nikki does plays or whatever. Nikki ain't no actor man, he no thing, he not in the business. But you know what the support is? Next door you're gonna do that cool. So I decide if she ever want a little water do a thing, she do have to study the other things. Support is when you alleviate certain stresses from the person that you're with. And also, let me jump to...
Marriage can be characterized as that.
Exactly.
To relieve some of the stress to the other person and to make their lives better.
And let me throw this in too. It happens in even when you have blended families. When you with someone, we talk CM and CF talk all the time. Sometimes a way to be a better individual or a better father is to support your CF or your CM buddies. You know that, all right, your CM had to work late or whatever. Bro, oh gosh, just keep your child the longer hours and you pull the late shift. It's not
right,
it's not, and I hate to hear when men say, nah, but I babysit. Oh, you babysitting your child.
Your own child.
Oh, that's babysitting. That's not babysitting, brother. I have to take care of my kids.
Communicating, comprehending. There was a good day. That last caller talk realness, the world. That's the world we live in. Dwayne.
Malachi. You watch Malachi
Derek Jackson himself, boy. Preaching.
I had him last weekend, so
yeah. I can't watch him, so I had to watch Malachi right through. So
I had
to watch Malachi.
Malachi nothing.
And this time she's studying for a masters. She's studying for a masters. You know that when she get the masters will be beneficial to you indirectly. Well, let me explain that quick before we done. When I say beneficial to you indirectly, my friend, if you have someone maybe all not together but she's studying to do something, think about it. I'm gonna bring it in the streets. If she get a little degree better and get a better job and can earn more, it might take off the stress on you because she will have more to give your child. The same child will have better benefits. So
they have man out there that real insecure do even want women to study and do better.
Bro, understand this. Your child want to go to university, but you only have classes money. You have 1,000. You know your significant other or your CM could afford to put the difference for you, bro. It's all your child together.
Support.
That is what support
is. That's a whole different show. All right, guys, we gotta go. We had so much text though. I love this one. Sprinters need to keep sprinting when they're passing a sweet-looking marathon runner. Don't slow down and pretend you're in the race for the long haul. That don't work.
You watch me. You're coming up. You see them. You start to slow down. So you run marathon and stuff. Yeah, well, I train for marathons a lot of times. I'm a marathon runner. What kind of shoes you got on there?
Keep running.
Those are the new Nikes.
Keep running.
I meet up somebody. You have a wife, you know. Which part she quite behind there.
Yeah, you know, long I tell her to run like you. You know, long I tell her to you can't
keep running.
Right behind, buddy.
Keep running. All right, guys, that was another edition of Mars versus Venus. Don't forget, in case you missed it, you can catch us on YouTube later.
Deal with some of these now.
Yeah.
All right, guys, blessed love.